Hello everyone, this is Konkyra speaking. Today is the 30th May 2026. You hear my male voice and you see those two flags and you can guess already, this is the video of a straight ally. You see, 2 days ago I have been uploading a video where I was presenting you my stuff that I want to bring with me on my very first Christopher Street Day, the CSD, in my hometown Berlin, Germany, which will happen on the 25th July this year. And I have also presented to you this flag, the so-called Lesbian Pride flag, which is its official name. I call it the Amazon flag. Yeah, as you probably know, if you are into this stuff, um, since 2018, there is a new standard when it comes to flags that depict female homosexuality, which is this one, the so-called sunrise flag, if I'm not mistaken. And this has become the new standard. And this flag, which I like very much, and it's my favorite, and in this video I want to tell you why. You see, this flag has become outdated since 2018. Now, at first, I will introduce to you those two flags. We'll start with my favorite because it's also the older flag. So this is called the Lesbian Pride flag. I personally call it the Amazon flag. And as you can see, it is in deep purple color with a triangle that is standing on its head in black color, and inside that triangle is the labris, that is the true name for a double-bladed battle axe. This flag was invented in 1999 by, I guess it's a man, because the name is Jean Campbell. I hope that I am not mistaken. If that might be the case, then I am really sorry, but I have not found out any information about this person so far. I only know the name, and this is also just what I have read and heard so far. And this flag is historically very important. As you probably know, the purple color actually stands for feminism. And the labris was already used as a symbol of homosexual females, or as I call them, Amazon sisters. And I will explain that to you in a few minutes. It was already been used by them during the 1970s, doing plenty of demonstrations, because the labris is actually the main melee weapon of the Amazons, those powerful female warriors from Greek mythology. According to my information, what someone has told me, a good friend who is very much into the topic when it comes to Nazi history and Holocaust and concentration camps, she told me that this black triangle that is standing on its head was used to depict those prisoners in those concentration camps that were declared to be antisocial. And according to what she told me, I hope that she was not mistaken, but according to what she told me, this symbol was also used for Amazon sisters, so homosexual women that were prisoners in those concentration camps. And back in the 1970s, this symbol has been used by Amazon sisters that went into those feminist demonstrations to demonstrate for their rights, because the 1970s were still different than today. And so they have decided, what, even though this symbol has been used in a totally different way and in a in an evil way, pardon my English, we still take the symbol and just use it for our own good. So yeah, this flag has become the standard in 1999. But the problem was, unfortunately, that later this flag had been associated with transphobia. I do not know why, but I have also heard that trans people who want to change into the female gender, if I'm not mistaken, did not feel presented by the symbol and the flag as a whole. And so in 2018, so only 8 years ago now, this flag has been invented, the sunrise flag, by an Amazon sister, I guess, so therefore by a homosexual woman known as Emily Gwen. She was active on, back then it was still Twitter, today it is X, as you already know, and Facebook, and she invented this flag, and it has become the new standard for, female homosexuality, according to the information that I have found in the internet. This new color combination of the, as I call it now, because I do not like the other word so much because of different reasons. It has to do with Sappho, because not discrediting her, but this new color combination of the Amazon Sisters flag specifically represents the inclusion of Amazon Sisters, trans Amazon Sisters, non-binary Amazon Sisters, and Amazon Sisters who do not use she or her pronouns. And according to further information, the colors stand for gender nonconformity, independence, community, unique relationship to womanhood, clarity and peace, love and sex, and femininity. This is the explanation about this flag. And again, when I say Amazon sisters, I mean homosexual women, because I do not like the L word that much, because it comes actually from Sappho, this Greek poetess from the island Lesbos, the Greek island Lesbos, and many people believe that she was actually a homosexual. I have done some research about her back in 2023, and I came to the conclusion that it is either unlikely or she was probably bisexual, according to my own research. Okay, that's my own opinion, but it's unlikely that she was really homosexual as a female. Now, as I have told you about those flags, I want to give you my opinion why this flag is still my favorite and why I have decided, as a straight male ally, to go to the CSD this year, my very first ever, as I've said already, with this flag instead of this flag. Well, at first, I was never at the CSD before, but I believe that this flag today is not as much to be seen as the sunrise flag. And so, I have decided to go with this flag because it's also my favorite symbol. Because, I am an author, and for many years already, I write stories about the Amazons, and I have my website where I share all of my stuff for free. It's all in German language, I have to admit that, but my Amazons, because of my logical thinking, from the very beginning when I have started writing on them, that was in December 2016, so almost 9 years ago now, I have decided that they shall be homosexual because they were all female and they were all, killing men on the battlefield, and they only grew up among themselves and only lived among themselves. And of course, if maybe a young Amazon starts to get to her puberty, what should she be like? Of course, she goes for homosexuality because her entire brain and body are and soul, of course, are wired to those sorts of things. And so it's only natural to me. And over the years when I was writing on my Amazons, I have also tried to research more about those topics, and I became more and more a silent supporter of Amazon sisters, as I call them again. And and now I finally, in 2026, I finally want to break out of my fears of going to this, mass demonstration, if you want to call it like that, and really go to the CSD, because in 2026 I am breaking out of my old self a lot. And so I have already prepared a lot, as I have presented to you in my last video from 2 days ago. And again, I have told to you that the colors of the sunrise flag are about gender nonconformity, independence, community, unique relationship to womanhood, clarity and peace, love and sex, and femininity. But seriously, if you want to know my own opinion, and this is really just my personal opinion, This flag here, it has its symbol. It has the Labris, the double-bladed battle axe of the Amazons. It has the purple color for feminism. Um, and, it is about the Amazons. And, when you see this symbol, you immediately know, or at least you can immediately guess what that actually means. Especially when women would walk around with this flag. I am a straight man, so I hope that I'm not getting beaten up by some real Amazon sisters at the CSD when I'm walking around with their own symbols and colors, because I also have pins, buttons, wristbands, and all. Again, you can see that in my previous video from 2 days ago. But those colors, as wonderful as they sound, as they look, especially when you carry them as a wristband. You see this. I have both of those flags also as wristbands. You know, do those colors really mean that what they are supposed to mean? To myself, and again, it's just my personal opinion. This is not to down talk this flag, because I think the mix of the colors is very beautiful. But actually, if nobody tells you what those colors actually mean, there are all kinds of interpretations that you come up with. The red color at the top, for instance, could mean, it could also mean blood, war, and bloodshed, which could be, also mean to interpret something from the Amazons into this. But, you know, if you do not know that, you have no idea. White color could mean nothing, or it could mean, I'm sorry to say this, it could theoretically mean white people only, which of course is not the case, And, there are too many kinds of interpretations of every single color, I mean, white could also mean I have a white piece of paper, okay? Let's take something not so aggressive, But, it could mean all kinds of things. And if somebody doesn't tell me what those colors actually mean, well, I have no idea, or I would interpret something totally different, and that is why I still go for the original, as it is named, Lesbian Pride flag. I call it Amazon flag, and I will show up with it on the CSD, because the meaning, especially with the Labris, is very clear. And in fact, just by accident, I have found a video online where numerous flags from the LGBTQ plus scene have been shown. And I immediately have set my eyes on this flag, because I'm doing a lot of research about the Amazons for so many years now, because they are so fascinating, and it's my life's work, actually, or I see it personally as my life's work. And you see, I immediately saw the Labris and I thought, what is that? You need to find out what is this, and then I have quickly found out that this flag is, a depiction for Amazon sisters, therefore homosexual females. And I thought, I need to have this flag. It's so cool, I want to have this in my apartment, and also on my arm. Right now you just see the color, because the rubber is going around. Here it is. And yeah. Um, so yeah, that is why I still see this flag as my personal favorite. I use the sunrise flag also to make my apartment look more nice and neat. And again, I like the mix of the colors, but again, there are too many interpretations. There are other flags also for female homosexuality. For example, there's a flag that I do not have, the so-called Sapphic Pride flag, which is also, directly meant towards Sappho, the Greek poetess. But again, I have a different opinion when it comes to Sappho's possible sexuality. And and this is a flag with a flower in the center, with a white stripe in the center, with a flower in the center of that white stripe, and then two pink bars on the top and on the bottom. But yeah, it is also quite capable of being interpreted in a lot of different ways. But to my personal opinion, and it's just my personal opinion, I do not tell you what to believe or what to do, but this flag the so-called lesbian pride flag, which I personally call the Amazon flag, as I have said numerous times now, because I'm talking too much again in my videos, and that's why they are always so long. You see, this is just also my personal flag as a straight ally, and I will definitely show up with this flag. Not with the flag that is lying on the ground here. I have numerous of those flags. I have ordered them online from a website in the internet, obviously. And I will definitely take a fresh flag that is not hanging all day long on my walls. And yeah, so this is my personal opinion about those flags, and I wanted to make this video already for quite some time. And I've had to modify my bedroom a bit so that I have the space for both of those flags. They have the same sizes, 150 centimeters mal 90 centimeters. And yeah, they are both beautiful, but again, uh, the flag at the bottom, the lesbian pride flag, or as I call it, Amazon flag, is my personal favorite. And this is the flag that I will show up with as a straight ally and as a male. And again, I hope that if I should actually find some Amazon sisters there, and if they should probably, I don't think that I will be seen in those giant mass of people with all kinds of colors and dresses and wagons and all kinds of stuff, because I can imagine how gigantic the CSD in Berlin must be like. Um, because they fill up the entire street from Berlin's Victory column all the way down from the Victory column to the Brandenburg Gate. So it will be gigantic, but I really want to be there. But if I should receive some attention of Amazon sisters, you know, I hope that they won't take me down like Hothead Paisan would. My favorite comic, of which I was also creating a video in March, a 77-minute video. That's why nobody's watching that either, but I don't care because I love to make those videos for fun. But again, I'm a straight ally because I write about Amazons, and my Amazons are all homosexual. And over the years, I have suddenly become a supporter, while back in many years ago, let's say 2015 and almost all the way down to 2016, if somebody would have told me, Guy, one day you will have those kinds of flags that depict female homosexuality in your apartment and you will adore them, especially this one, of course, back then I would have believed that those people that would tell me this are crazy, that I would never be able to walk around with wristbands like this, at least in private. In public, I only carry the wristband, the purple one, and not this one. But I will carry them both on the CSD, that's for sure, and also a straight ally wristband, and maybe also a black one on both arms, of course. And yeah, again, back then I was neutral or maybe a slight enemy of things like that, because I'm also a Huguenot. Those are evangelic Christians. But this has changed, and I also have my own interpretation now of the Bible, that God, or as I call him, according to the Old Testament, Yahweh, is actually not against this at all, but he actually supports that. When you read the Old Testament and also the New Testament, the two important parts that are about homosexuality, if you read them correctly. But I maybe make another video about that if you're interested. Yeah, this video is almost 20 minutes long, so I'm stopping this now. Please feel free, if you belong to those very few people that will be watching this video, please feel free to write me in the comments, what do you think about my opinion? If you maybe have a different opinion, I'm open for all kinds of opinions, but something will not change, and that is that this flag will stay to be my favorite, despite some people say, oh, this flag is transphobic, because I personally don't think so. Maybe some people have misused it, but what if one day this flag might be misused by somebody? Do you want to invent a new flag again and again and again? That's impossible. This is a fight with no winner. So just stick to the flags. If some people some minority of people maybe misuse those flags and use that maybe for their own transphobic agenda or whatever. So what, I mean, those are flags and symbols, and they can mean all kinds of things. And some people maybe want to use that for bad things, but there are even more people that want to use those flags for good things, to strengthen Amazon, all you Amazon sisters out there that want to strengthen female homosexuality, that want to show their support, like myself as a straight ally. Um, to that we support you and that we're not your enemies, and that we're good people too, just like you. And so, yeah, do not allow yourself to be taken down or invent a new flag just because a bunch of people are misusing one of those flags for their own evil good. Because, again, you would invent a new flag again and again and again. The LGBTQ plus scene already has so many different flags. I mean, it's crazy. I have seen those flags on the internet. It seems there's a new flag every day, and even the classic rainbow flag has now received a bright pink stripe at the top. So even the classic rainbow flag is maybe not the standard anymore soon. But I stick to this flag. I stick to the lesbian pride flag, or as I call it, Amazon flag. And I will definitely show up with this flag at the CSD. And yes, of course, I already have a flagpole ready to attach the flag on it. The flagpole can be extended. So yeah, I have everything that I need to show my support on the CSD in, well, it's a little less than 2 months now. So I'm very excited. I'm also a bit scared because, I was never there before and I do not know what to expect. I'm not watching any YouTube videos, maybe from the past years or so, because I really want to have a big surprise. And yeah, but I promise everybody of you who is out there and may have been watching this video of me talking to the very end, that I will definitely show up at the Christopher Street Day in Berlin on 25th July 2026. So in roughly 2 months now, in a little less than 2 months now, with this flag, the Amazon flag, in support for all of you Amazon sisters out there, for which I'm writing stories as a straight ally and as a male. And yeah, and of course I will show up with those wristbands too, and all kinds of stuff. Again, I have presented that in a video from 2 days ago. Feel free to watch that, and again, tell me or write me a comment if you want. What do you think of my personal opinion? If you have a different opinion, I'm open for just everything. Otherwise, I wouldn't be going to the Christopher Street Day this year, finally, for the first time ever in my life. Okay, that's it for today. Stay tuned for more, and thank you so much again, and goodbye.